1, 2. Yeah. Yeah. They thought I was asleep, but I'm woke now. I'm back on my grind, I'ma go now. Shout out to my brother, I'm shown now. I hop on the plane to my hometown. I got in the clutch when we touch down. We all in the field when you come round. Rebuking the spirit, you tied down. You beefing with lanes, my God loud. My God on the move, my God on the tools. I'm about to get used. You catching the groove. I rock on the block and nothing can stop me. I know that he's smooth. You stop cause you hot and you doing too much, but just know that he cool.
Hey man, I'm excited. First and foremost, man, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. I know you've been a busy man. You got a whole ministry. You got albums to work on. You got TikTok. So let's just jump in, man. First and foremost, let's go ahead and just introduce yourself. Just give us a little background on your music journey, your TikTok journey, and then we can get into these topics. I know you got things to do, so we'll get you in and out. Yeah,
bro. So Kalin Jones, I remember I was 5 years old and I wanted to rap. My brother was locked up and he asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, I want to rap. And so I was just messing around, just trying to figure it out. I grew up on Christian hip hop, so a lot of cross movement, all that stuff. My parents used to tour and do music. They had a worship band called Urban Street Level, and so they used to tour with people like Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, and David Crowder, just all these big names and stuff like that. And so it wasn't until I was 14 when I recorded my first song, and it was really bad. And so I had a cousin who had a boyfriend in Atlanta, and it was just really bad. And on my way back, he said he knocked on the window as we was on the drive back, and he said, don't ever stop writing. And I never stopped writing, man, and I just kept going with it. And so 3 albums in, we getting it. And so as far as TikTok, man, I was trying to promote my music on there at first, and it wasn't working. And so I had ultimately just come up with some ideas of, well, if I can't do a good job promoting my music, let me promote some other and oddly enough, man, those were the ones that started blowing up. And
that's crazy though, right?
Yeah,
it's like the stuff that you want to blow up don't blow up, but then like the things that you don't really think will blow up ends up blowing up. That's crazy.
Ever, bro, man. It's times where I like make a video, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna take off. That jump do not take off. The most random jump, and it's like, I took off, bro. Really? Okay, So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now, man. So just letting God, use me, man, however he can.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. But I was like, because the first time I like came across like your TikToks, I was like, oh, Kalin, that name sounds familiar. And then I started looking at some of the videos. I was like, hey, yeah, my brothers know this dude. Yeah. So were you in the same like class as Jordan?
Yeah, so man, Jordan was like the coolest dude, bro. And we were in the same class, and then I got expelled, man. I couldn't hang. I got expelled, man. I was chewing gum in class. I just ADD, man, just not doing what I'm supposed to. And they was like, yeah, you got bounced. The Christian school kicked me out, man. They couldn't save me.
Man, Christian school, man.
Yeah,
so you was there for like what, a couple grades, and then you kind of bounced out.
Yeah, so 2 grades. So we lived in PG County, and then it was kind of weird timing because my parents accepted this position all the way in St. Mary's. So for y'all listening, this is completely different parts of Maryland, and so kind of the hood a little bit, and then we go all the way to the country. And so, around that time where I get expelled, they're like, hey, we just got this job opportunity, so yeah, jump right into public school right after that. So
yeah, that's what's up.
yeah.
You're a married man. You got one kid, right? Was it? Or we working on number 2?
I got one kid. So man, this is an exclusive for your audience, bro. We got another one on the way, man. But
hey,
it's secret right now. So yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, we working, man.
That's what's up.
I'm getting that girl pregnant, dude.
It's how many years married?
So we're getting ready to hit 2. So we moving fast, bro. So yeah, we got married in August, had our first baby the year after August, and so this one is due January. So we'll have a summer baby and a winter.
Wow. Man, I'm not envious at all, bro.
Yeah, don't be, bro. Take your time, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been married for it'll be 8 years in October.
Wow.
We've been together since 2007, so that makes that. Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Wow. y'all been through it, bro.
Yeah. We've been in there, man. We working.
Yeah,
you know
good.
What I'm saying?
Love it.
But yeah, man, let's get into it, because I know we got a limited time schedule here, but a lot of your content, it kind of connects with mine. I take a different angle on how I go at certain things, and you take a more, how can I put it? You take a more like friendlier angle. I go straight to the neck. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we be saying the same thing.
We do. We literally do.
But Kalin just know how to say it in a more like gentler way.
Yeah.
I said, I don't got time for all that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like, so the first thing I wanted to bring up, because it's like a big topic going on right now about the Chicago mom, and then the 14-year-old kid.
I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God! I said one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Ended up defending his mom, and because of that, he ended up shooting the guy that was like, basically punching the mom in the face in public, which was insane. But I've been seeing like a lot of like conversations, memes going around about how the dude shouldn't have been killed, and then another side is basically saying, nah, he deserved it. Then they had some memes going around where like the family of the guy that was killed was posting like a GoFundMe page of $10,000 to raise for the funeral. And then people were basically saying, nah, you should have thought of that before you were beating on women. So it was kind of like people were applauding the fact that he was killed, but then you had another side of people saying that he shouldn't have been killed. So I want to kind of dive into it from a believer's perspective. You know what I'm saying? We think differently, but at the same time, I'm not too far removed from just like the mindset of how someone would feel if, like, I'm thinking if I was in a public line and someone was beating on my mom and I happen to have the blicky with me.
Hello. Yeah.
I mean, like, open carry. Yeah. Like, let's get into that. Like, what's your take on this?
So I have several thoughts. So with a lot of stuff, that ends up having two opposing sides to it, I always try to look objectively at both sides. And so I always find myself in the middle, always. And so because I can understand both sides of it. So like you said, bro, if any of us saw our mom getting whooped on, and we had something on us, come on, be real. So me and my wife were talking about this, and a lot of that stems from hurt. What caused you to start swinging on her over being in line? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it really, I believe that it really is stemming down to our self-worth and our self-value, and like, are we really willing to risk our life over being in line? And it's hard. And so I do think that it sucks that it happened. And from my understanding, bro, maybe you can help clarify it, but I think the reason that the kid got off is because earlier the guy had posted like pictures with him with guns, I think. And so
I think so.
Yeah, and so he was able to get off. But yeah, bro, man. That joint is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
For me, it's like when it comes down to self-defense, I think that's the main thing, right? The conversation kind of stems to what's considered self-defense and what's considered, I guess, vengeance in a way. You know what I mean? Right. Now, had it been like dude was talking slick to his mom or whatever the case may be, and both parties walked away, and then the son came back and said, "Hey, I heard you were talking something about my mother," and then pulled it out and then pulled the BB out and then shot him. Right. Then that's totally different. That's vengeance in that case. No. But like seeing multiple angles, seeing how the video was, like it was a super fluid video. It was as if someone was like took a phone and just held the camera still. It was not like any question on what was going on. Like homie was like beating on the mom like she was a dude or something. Yeah, like bro. Yeah. Over and then again, it was not even over anything crazy. It was just like her talking in line or whatever. Yeah. He said, say one more thing. And then he just started beating on her. So like for him to have the audacity to do something like that in broad daylight. Yeah, bro. To an older woman, he doing something way worse than that. Facts.
What's he capable of when nobody's around?
You know what I mean? If nobody was around, man, he probably would have ended up shooting her.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like 14-year-old. If I'm a 14-year-old and I'm seeing my mom in danger.
Yeah, bro.
And like, he probably wasn't as big as dude either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so threat level wise, he's beating on your mom. He's probably bigger than you. The only thing you can think of is to stop him from doing what he's doing.
And you're in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? So it's
that's a whole nother element right there.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know what could happen after this. So you know what I'm saying? Right. He tried to escape. It's like, bro, like he could be going to get his gun, lighting everything up. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sure he was critically thinking like, yo, I gotta figure this out. It's all happening so fast. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I don't wish death on anybody, bro. Like I don't wish death on anybody. But yeah, bro, if I gotta save my family, bro, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Yeah. And for me, abuse, I didn't grow up being abused, but for some reason it's a big trigger of mine, bro. And it's like, it's just something that I hate so much, man. I remember I was on my way to work and I saw this dude hitting this woman with like a tree branch, and I had pulled up on him, like, and I was like, like, yo, y'all good? Like, what's up? Like, all that. And so it's a thing that just completely brings me out of my element, bro. And it's some guys working on me with, bro. But yeah, bro, yeah.
I mean, for the most part, man, it seemed like the consensus is that, after people saw like the footage and everything, this wasn't like this. To me, if this happened to me, or if my brothers were in a situation like that, I would not look down on them for what would happen. Right. Like that's like that. In that case, that wasn't a murder. Yeah. That would someone had to die because they chose to abuse someone innocent. Yeah. So that was protecting the innocent, in my opinion. Yep. I agree. You know what I mean? I mean, it does suck that he had two daughters. So I think that's where the compassion comes in. It's like, okay, now there's two daughters that are without a father now. Yeah. And they had nothing to do with his actions. You know what I mean? So that's where the compassion comes in for me. But then my compassion comes out for like the 14-year-old trying to protect his mom the only way he knew how. Yeah. So, but that's my take on it, man. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping about that.
Bro, like I said, bro, anybody, a knife, whatever, man, anybody would do what they can to protect their family, bro, the person that they love. Yeah. Especially a young boy for his mom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fact. Yeah. You're gonna do what you gotta do, you know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All right, man. So next topic, man.
All right.
And it's something you probably you ready for. Christian hip hop.
Yes.
Secular hip hop. So I'm going to bring this in real gentle, and then we can take it from there. All right. So I know you've heard that hip hop for for decades, right? It's been like the common kind of like genre right now, right? Like it would never be a year where a hip hop artist didn't make like the charts. But they are saying that this is like a historical moment where not one person in the hip hop community scored high on the charts. So I don't think they even hit the charts this year. Last year. Yeah. So it's like artists now are starting to kind of scratch their heads and be like, oh wow, we're not the top genre no more. It's hip hop is not, it's not like the universal music for all races. But here's the thing. I don't think secular hip hop is the same as what CHH is. As far as first of all, the talent level. Number two, the content. And number three, it's not self-destructive outside of the studio. I think that is probably the biggest detriment to the secular hip hop community right now, is because you got Thug in prison facing life. They keep postponing whatever they're doing. I don't think they have a jury yet. Number one, and he's already been in prison for a year. Boosie about to get some charges. Tory Lanez looking at 13 to 22 years. Hip hop artists die almost every year. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we talk about the lyrics. The lyrics have always been the same. It's always been about, robbing, shooting, killing, and drugs, sex, twerking, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? It's been that way. It's just gotten more sophisticated in just the music level or whatever. But now it's coming to a point that now that lyrics can be held against you in a court of law, now that people are actually getting tired of the same thing, like everyone sounds exactly the same, and people are tired of talking about the same stuff that they know is destroying our community. I think this is the time that CHH can show that we could change the culture.
Yep.
I can't remember the last time I listened to like a full blown, like outside of Cole and Kendrick.
Right.
Those and an occasional Drake that slap a little bit.
Right.
But outside of them three, I don't know anybody else. I was on TikTok and they were showing like the freshman class.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone.
Like every year, it's like it gets less and less. Like, who are these people? Like, yo,
bro, they don't look famous. No, they don't look famous at all. I don't know who they are.
Like regular dudes down the street.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what is your take on how CHH? Because you're a CHH artist as well.
Yeah.
What is your take of like the community itself? How can they start bridging that gap? Because when I'm seeing, like, even in my friend group, when I play something, they're like, yo, what's this? They're like, just go ahead and nod your head. You like it, don't you? Like, it's not even about, because I remember how CHH, like the cross movements and all that kind of stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
It was real preachy, kind of like people would say, oh, it's a little corny or whatever.
Yep. Not a little.
Like, a lot of it. Yeah. But bruh, like you got people like Jay Monty. You got people like Star Ringo. You got people like you got people like Hovey, Big Breeze. Like all of these artists, bruh, I feel like go harder than the whole freshman class, 100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I said enough. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you got Caleb Gordon,
prone to fall. Soon as you think you
Mike T. So I believe that Christian hip hop is getting to a place of not the peak, because you don't want it to peak this early.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely on a heavy incline, like especially with the help of TikTok, just like growing these artists and the new Instagram algorithm, all that stuff, like really helping grow these really dope artists. Like, bro, it's really crazy. So, I believe that Christian hip hop, I personally believe, bro, that it's gonna get to a place of being widely accepted, and people are. It's going to be a gateway for people to, encounter Christ way more than we ever thought it would have. And, as corny as Christian hip hop was back in the day, I always tell my wife, man, those dudes had to walk so we could run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
like the Rum DMC's CHH kind of,
fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, So, and then, just with hip hop, man, just in the secular arena, man, it's just like so self-destructive, man. Like, NBA YoungBoy, all these guys like who literally are the voices for the youth, man. Like, and not even on a skill level, because I just, kids, young people, I believe, are looking more for authenticity than skill set right now. Where, like, maybe our age range, we care about skill set. We care about, that's why we like J. Cole. That's why, we can listen to Cole, we can listen to Kendrick, we can listen to these guys because we still care about the skill set and the case, stuff like that. These guys, they just want authenticity. It's like, I want to believe that this dude is really who he says he is, and I want to feel that. And so, it's killing us, bro. It's taking us out. These, like you said, bro, these guys are not surviving, man. Like, they're not making it. Like, every year there's always a big death in secular hip hop, and honestly, with Christian hip hop, and I know I'm bouncing back and forth a lot, but with Christian hip hop, you kind of have to be better. Jay Monty told me that, as far as Christian hip hop, is like, because you can't cuss, like you can't cop out and just say random stuff like about this and that. Like you have to be technically skilled in what you're doing because you're set apart. You know what I'm saying? So. You
had no choice.
You know what I'm saying? So, I personally think that one, I didn't know that fact that secular hip hop like wasn't charting like that this year, which is really crazy. Which honestly, bro, like
it's kind of it's in a way. I think. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think God is allowing people to just self-destruct with their own vices for real.
Facts, bro. Facts.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, y'all can have y'all music, but then I'm gonna allow your own fans to expose you. Like no longer are we going to just keep preaching at you. Keep on doing what you keep listening to what you want to listen to, but you're not gonna be successful.
Right.
Like we gonna let the Taylor Swifts of the world, the Bad Bunnies of the world, just literally take the charts from y'all. Yeah. And then what are you gonna do? And then I'm gonna lock y'all up. I'm gonna let y'all get locked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like then you ain't gonna make no money.
Right.
And then you get people like this. What annoys me though, right? Like Busta Rhymes, right? People like that had music back in the day that weren't as, wasn't too wholesome. Also, like it was, they were on their stuff too, right? But now they're older, so they're like in their 50s, right?
Yeah.
But they're talking as if they always had it together.
Petty beefs that we be doing in rap, this shit is. Y'all messing up the bag. Y'all messing up the energy. I don't like when I talk to these dudes that run these streaming platforms and they talking about, we turning the consumer off because there's so much little this and little that going on with you rappers. We're gonna stop that. We're gonna love each other and we're gonna get to this money.
Like, it's like, no, people before you were telling you the same thing.
Right.
It's like this is not anything new. Like the music has always been this way. You guys are now finally seeing that now that your kids are getting affected by it.
Right.
Your grandkids, some of your grandkids are getting affected by the music. But I remember I was in like 4th, 5th grade, we would listen to like 3 6 Mafia and all that, bro. Like,
yeah,
the music, the content has never changed. It's just the beats have gotten better. That's it. But like now it's like everything's getting exposed. You're getting more and more, Glorillaz coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm only knowing these names because of TikTok, but because they all over TikTok. But like, I can't remember the last time I downloaded like a song from any of these kind of artists, because it's like, bro, like y'all talking about the same thing, like, and then once you have it,
same, like y'all the same. It's like, bro, it's getting old. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's getting so old, and I like that Christian hip hop. It's getting so diverse. Like something that I was begging for, bro, was a Christian hip hop that was almost kind of in kind of that gangster type of thing, like to where it's like I'm telling my story, like I want you to know how I overcame this. Like we're getting to that point to where it's not just Jesus, but it's like, nah, Jesus rescued me because this is where I was at, like I'm freedom,
Yeah, and even like what you said, it don't even really have to be like a preachy song. Like it could, like if you want to talk about girls, just have the song with a perspective of someone who believes in God. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to have a sermon in your song. It's just like now that you see things differently, your perspective, your content, because that's that thing that kills me. It's like even some of the secular artists, their perspective has changed outside of the music, but they still rap about the same thing about 10 years ago before they changed. It's like, so now you're just using the music because it's profitable for you, but you don't even believe what you rapping no more. Like you won't even let your kid listen to your music. That's what killed me. But you let other people's kids listen to your music.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
I think Future they had stopped using drugs before he stopped rapping about it.
Yeah, and we didn't know that.
We didn't even know that, John, bro.
No.
So yeah, but again, it's literally like what the Bible talks about, how it's like it's not a war of flesh and blood, but in a sense it is, because these guys are killing each other, but it's really spiritual. Like you got principalities in this music, like we can't get that twisted. Like no, it's a darkness in here, bro. It's dark. And so what we're doing, and I don't want it to be the main focus, bro, for Christian hip hop to oppose what the world is doing. It's like, if we're gonna be set apart, it's not opposing what's going on, it's setting the trend. You know what I'm saying? Like we make the main thing the main thing. This is about God, and this is about getting people to know who God is. And this is, bro, when we have conversations, we're not preaching at each other to death, so our music doesn't have to reflect that.
Have a conversation.
It's literally, it's how I'm feeling. You can make a heartbreak song as a Christian, bro, because we experience heartbreak. Like you can make a love song as a Christian. We experience love. You know what I'm saying? Like talk about your issues. Like so it's not directly opposing secular music. It's elevating and leveling up. Like that's how I honestly believe that we'll hit to that golden age. Like I believe that we're entering the golden age of Christian hip hop, but we're gonna get to a point where we're like, oh dang, okay, this John peaked, and bro.
So what are your thoughts on the genre of it being called CHH? Like I remember interview with Lecrae, and he was like, I'm a Christian who just happens to rap.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to label himself as like a CHH like artist.
Yeah.
Do you think that, I mean, in a sense, that take it too far of not trying to stand out, or like what are your thoughts on his position?
Yeah. I think that terminology might be dated now. Like I think it was okay for the time. I think right now, because of the age that we're in, just a spirituality, all this wickedness that's going on. I think it's okay, and it's cool, bro. Like, people are making it so cool. Like, nah, I'm a Christian rapper. Like, we really want to, shift the culture of Christian hip hop. So, from the upfront level to the behind the scenes stuff of just like gatekeeping, clickiness, like, all this, like we're trying to break through all of that. So, I think for the time it was cool, but I think right now saying like, nah, I'm a Christian hip hop artist, like, and not sitting in that box, because if I'm gonna drop some cuss words like that, I'm gonna drop some cuss words, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If I'm like, I have the freedom to say what I feel, but I'm a Christian and I'm a hip hop artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So bro, it's really breaking through the box. The box and elevating the genre.
Man, you better stop putting too many rabbit holes out there, man. Because like what you just said was a whole nother topic. But I'm gonna try to stay on track. But just to piggyback on what you just said, like, 'cause that reminded me of that episode with Tim Ross, and then the whole debacle with his podcast was starting off as like the Christian podcast. But then like, I think he had a couple episodes where he got, really emotional, and he might have dropped like an F-bomb, or like he might have cursed a couple times or whatever. And then like the whole Christian community like went like bananas. Like they were just out. Like, just when I say they were mad, that means in my head they have never cursed at all. Like
but they capping, bro.
They all capping. Yeah. They all capping. Like there's nobody in the community of Christendom that has not used any of those words at any time. I mean, like, you try to like reform your the way you talk, your speech, and you try not to, curse people out. Right. But in a heat of like passion or emotion, you may drop something. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just being real. And for him to be that vulnerable to like own it and not like run away from it and actually confront the fact that he, what he said. No. I respected that. Now, I'm not for like the antics at the Mike Todd joint.
We don't make it rain on booty cheeks. We don't make it rain on strippers. We only reverence one stripper, and that's the one that took off glory and then get butt naked on a cross to die for both you and me. The only stripper I'm in love with is Jesus. He's the one that puts that bread in my pocket. That bread in my pocket. I got bread in my pocket.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah. But in my opinion, I think Tim Ross should have always been a podcaster. I don't think that, and who am I to say what his calling is? In my opinion, I received more from him as a podcaster than a pastor. And that's just me. He could have easily, helped somebody else as a pastor, and that was good for them. But I think that when we put people, like you said, when we put everything in this big old box and nothing can go outside of those boundaries, or else you're canceled. That goes for the music as well. Like, I think we have to really think about the context of what people are saying versus the individual word of what they said. Because like, I give you a prime example. If I had a best friend who was struggling with like heroin addiction or something like that, right? And he overcame that heroin addiction, and he out of just excitement, he said, excuse my French, he said out of just excitement. For actually like beating that habit. Like,
what's wrong with that?
Are we going to just ignore the fact that the dude was excited and he slipped up and said that?
Yeah, it's like, nah.
No, what is the context of his excitement? Not the individual word, which is an English made up word anyway. Like in another culture, they wouldn't even know what that word is.
Exactly, bro.
And so I'm saying like corrupt communication is not the actual word itself. Corrupt communication is the context of what you're saying to someone to have like cursings or evil malice words against them. That's corrupt communication.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, I think the people that have the biggest problem with you know, that type of stuff, apart from them just being completely legalistic and, you know, I'm religious, you know, Pharisee and all that stuff, it's really so much easier to say, look at what they did, so they don't have to look at what they did. You know what I'm saying?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
You're like, look what Tim Ross did. Look what Tim did. Look. And then start making videos about it, and then you got a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's like, oh, I could talk about everybody now. Like, and I got people on board with me. Like, you know, so it's one of those things where I don't have to hold myself accountable. Like, also over there cussing, but like, I'm over here cussing at my wife, but like, let's just
at my kids. Yeah.
So yeah, bro. Yeah. So I honestly believe that people that do that the most really struggle with authenticity the most, because there's no way that you can feel any type of rub about hearing Tim Ross cussing on his podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like
his house.
In his house, on his show. Like, and then he's blessing people the way that he's blessing people. Like, there's no way that you should feel any type of rub unless you have stuff dealt with, you know, within yourself and stuff. So yeah, bro. That's why I like, even with pastors, I was gonna say this too. I'm just not heavily critical of pastors. One, because I am a pastor. The thing is, but two, like, when God anoints somebody and when God, you know, puts somebody in position, like, I want to be very careful of how I speak about, you know, this person who God, you know, allowed to be in this position. Like, me and my wife talk about this all the time. And that doesn't mean like, I don't say like, dang, I didn't really like their message today, or dang, man, I didn't like that they did this, or I don't like how, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, but you'll never see me make a video unless like a pastor is completely tripping, like, and I'll probably laugh about it because, you know, it's sad, but it's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, tripping with your congregation like that. I laugh so I don't cry. You know what I'm saying? So it's...
I feel like the only content I make about pastors is when I see that they're looking down on people. Like that's the kind of things that I don't. When you are so self-righteous that people feel uncomfortable to be in your presence, that is the pastor I'm talking about. Not the pastor who, you know, like a Mike Todd. Like, I'm not about to sit there and waste content on things that I may disagree with how he says things or does things, but the fact of the matter is this: homie ain't in no trouble. Homie ain't coming up with no scandals. He blessing people.
Right.
His theology may be a little messy at times, but at the same time, there's still people that didn't know Christ and now they know him because they were going to his church.
It's a fact.
So at the end of the day, as long as, you know, the main subject is being preached and people are receiving it, then that's between him and God if he ain't genuine.
Yeah, you know it's not about religion, and it's not about how can I be the best Christian. It's about how can I have an authentic relationship with God, you know,
100%.
And then help people have authentic relationships. When you start implementing like, you know, of course, you know, theologies and doctrine is important. Like, you know, especially if it's rooted in biblical, you know, thing. Like, but anything outside of that, it's like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not that deep.
So, let's try to get to the last topic.
Yeah.
And because I know that's going to be a doozy right there, bro.
Yeah, bro.
All right. So, LGBTQIA community.
Yeah.
Versus the LGBTQIA agenda.
Yeah.
I personally believe it's two different things.
Yep. Facts.
Two different things. And here's why, just for people that are listening. I feel like the community are the groups of people in that lifestyle. That community has people who might indulge in that lifestyle, but still want to try to find God. They still have friends that aren't in that community. They deserve the same legal American rights as everybody else. They don't deserve to go into any establishment and feel like people are staring at them because they're different, or they have a different conviction on certain lifestyles or whatever the case may be. The agenda is propaganda. The agenda is media. The agenda is education that is trying to make the masses convert into that lifestyle. That is what I'm opposed to.
Yep.
And so I used to try to like tightrope this kind of discussion because, you know, I have you know, friends that I have family members that are in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And because they're in the lifestyle, that doesn't make me treat them any different.
Right.
They are humans. They are humans. They're no different. Just like if I had a homie that is sleeping with his girl that he ain't married to.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna stop being cool with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where the saying that Christians or believers say that like love the person, hate the sin.
Yep.
That goes for everything. That's not a statement you just say to people that happen to be gay.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure we just sent yesterday. I'm pretty sure you sent this morning. Like,
this morning.
Like it's not exclusive to people in the LGBTQ community. So that's case in point there. Now the agenda is where they're trying to force our kids. I don't have kids yet, but whenever I do, they're trying to make them feel like being heterosexual is weird. They're trying to make the majority now become the minority.
Yep.
And that tends to happen with not just the LGBTQ conversation. That happens with all types of minority groups, like us included, as Black minorities. Like Black Lives Matter. Like we would make people that weren't of color be uncomfortable to have a conversation with us. So we became the majority in a sense where we took up so much space that we dominated the conversation. Instead of, we want change, but we don't want to collaborate. We want to bully people into submission.
Facts, bro.
And I think that's what the agenda does in any topic. Now we're talking about the LGBTQ community. This agenda makes comedians scared to touch them. It makes move like creatives who make movies scared to have, like, you have to be on point with every syllable with them or you're a bigot.
Yeah.
And I used to be scared of that. I'm no longer scared of that.
Yeah, facts. I ain't scared of it, bro. I ain't scared of it. I heard somebody say, Tim Ross, you can't cancel me, bro. You can't cancel me. Because I'm covered, man. I'm covered. God's got me covered. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, man. You can't cancel me. Okay, so here's my thoughts. And I had to write this down, and I hope it's but I said community is the person. Woo! I said community is the person. I said agenda is Disney. Now, hold on. So when I say community, the LGBTQ, what's the last two syllables?
QIA. I'm sure I missed like some new ones they might have put out there.
Yeah, but that's
stopping at A. I
gotta stop at yeah. So that, you know, that's the person, you know, who believes they were born in it. There's so many different situations that pull somebody into being a part of that community. There could have been you know, a sexual encounter at a young age. There could have been, you know, persuasion. There could have just been feelings that came out of nowhere. So many different things. So that's the community that raps, you know, the person who wants to identify as, you know, not a straight male or female, right? And so then you have the agenda where it's, you know, you have to have a gay character on your show. Like, and so I believe there's a difference between representation and, like you said, if you're heterosexual or you know, or if you're straight, then it's weird. Like, what, have you not explored that? Right. You know, and so I even heard, bro, that they're doing this thing for kids where they can take hormone stuff without telling their parents. You know what I'm saying? And then it's one of those things where it's like, dude, if you wouldn't let your kid drive your car, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would
make him change his whole biological makeup? Like,
you know what I'm saying? At 5, bro? At 5, are you serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it comes down, honestly, in my opinion, that it's like you said, it's two absolutely separate things. Like, and bro, I have gay friends like who believe that the agenda is toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not good. Like, this is
before I forget. So part of the reason why I'm getting a lot more bolder in what I believe about this whole agenda thing is because there are transgender people and regular just bisexual, gay, lesbian people who have openly said that they believe that this whole agenda is pandering to their community. Yeah. It's like they don't like married gay couples that have children.
Yeah.
They don't want their kids exposed to gay men in a pride parade, half naked with the dancing around. Like, they don't want their kids seeing that.
Because what's the point? I wouldn't even let my son go to something like that for women. Like, why would you bring a kid to an environment like that anyway? You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely the agenda right there. Like,
debauchery.
Yeah, and it's almost grooming in a sense. It's like, you know, and it's almost intentional. Like, where are y'all really trying to take us? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we headed as a society? Because bro, let's be honest, 2008, 2007, like, there were slurs, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, acting gay and stuff like that, like, you know, it was a complete joke.
Yeah.
Way past the stage of like bullying and joking about gay people. Like, so I don't understand why, because somebody has a disagreement or they're not understanding that it's bigotry and it's like completely disrespectful, to where it's like, dude, I can't have an opposing thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, bro, because we're way past that. We went from a point where we could make fun of gay people to where you
are afraid to make fun of gay people.
It's not even just afraid. I think it's illegal in
I think it's hate speech. It's almost like hate speech, I think. Yeah.
Just to say, you
know.
But
see, it's coming to a point, and it's, oh man, you ain't got that much time. Dang.
Yeah, I know.
It's coming to a point where you can't ask the simple question, what is a woman?
Yeah.
That's what hurts me, because it's like women have fought so hard to have the rights, the equal rights that they deserve.
Yeah.
And here comes a white gay male who's able to assume the same type of stripes as a woman.
Now, if I want to wake up tomorrow and tell a man, you want to say you're a woman and we want to play the crazy game, we can do that. To then say all of society now is to pretend that it was all a social, no, it was a social contract. You were born a male, I was born a female.
Yes, that's a sex.
We are black. Okay? It's a color though. Black it's a word that we use to say a sex. Female is a word that we use that has a meaning. It means you are born with a vagina, you can have children, you have a uterus. When you are a male, you are born with a penis, you can get a woman pregnant. These words have real meanings. We cannot suddenly get into society where there are no truths.
So to acknowledge a social construct does not mean that we ignore biology, and it doesn't mean that we don't have.
Can men get pregnant?
Depends. I know.
What does it depend on?
I know trans men that can get pregnant.
That means it's a woman. Only one sex can get
that's
pregnant.
a circular argument. That's
it's not a
making
circular
the
argument.
Yeah.
It's proving my thing. There is a truth, a concrete truth. You have to be born with a uterus to have a baby. Only women can get pregnant. The fact that we've arrived in a society where
Right, and that's the part I'm disagreeing with. That's the part I'm disagreeing
There's
with.
nothing to disagree with it. These are facts. So you can say that this person who is pregnant identifies as a man. That person was born a woman. I can tell you that every single time because.
But then gets recognized as Woman of the Year.
That's what hurts me, bro. It's like they work hard. They work hard for sports. They work hard. They do all of this, and then you can just take their titles away because you identified that way.
Right.
But me saying that is bigotry.
Yep.
That's the agenda, bro. That's not the community. That's the agenda. There's two different things.
Yep. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Man, but can I say this though? Which a lot of people, a lot of Christians disagree and hate. God loves them.
100%.
God loves them, and God wants to see them be at their best potential and ultimately walk according to his calling. And so like you said earlier, bro, I believe, and so the way that I see it is every single thing outside of God's will for sex is a sin.
Yeah.
So premarital sex, like
everything,
even with multiple people, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, like everything outside of God's will, that is a sin. You know what I'm saying? And so where the church fell short and where it's become a thing of LGBTQ versus the church is because back then, when, you know, we could say whatever we wanted to, the church was the main people going hard.
Mm-hmm. They were using the F word on them.
I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Which is like completely out of line, ridiculous, like not cool. And so they were using those slurs on the platform, but their assistants were sleeping with people's wives.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody knew it and nobody said anything.
Exactly.
And so because of that, we have now gone to a place of where there's this humongous conflict. You have the church and then you have the LGBTQ, and we don't accept you. You know what I'm saying? Because God doesn't accept you. Where the Bible never ever says that God doesn't accept people. You know what I'm saying? Like, God literally loves everybody and he wants to have a relationship with everybody. And so if you're doing things outside of God's will and outside of God's purpose, it's a sin. That is just point blank period. It's a sin. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that he doesn't want a relationship.
And I always try to like take a lot of the Christianese out of what I talk about, mainly so people can see that God is not this cosmic buzzkill.
Yeah, facts. I love that.
Yeah, I created something, like it, just take it all out of God's context. If you are not created like a robot, if we created that robot and the robot started to go outside of the parameters that we coded it to do, we would then say that it is in error.
Yeah,
it's not functioning correctly. So we would have to reset it and put it back in line.
Ooh, that's good, man.
So God himself has designed the human race for eternal life.
Dang.
And anything outside of allowing a human to live to its fullest potential is sin. It's not saying that that person is on the same level as Lucifer himself.
Right.
It's saying that they're allowing Lucifer to infect them with this thing we call sin or a virus.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what's happening. We're thinking the human itself is the virus when really they're the ones sick. And you're telling them they can't come to your church, to the hospital, and you're shutting the door on them. So that's when we come to the LGBT community. We're shutting the community out. We should be stopping the agenda so that the community can see that they're loved. The agenda that the corporations and the government pandering is putting out into the media is what the church should be speaking about.
Facts.
Not against the people who are coming to you for help.
Facts. And so because the agenda in the community doesn't have a separation for a lot of people. Like the common people don't see agenda isolated from community. So how can we as the church set the trend to say, no, like we want to love and we want to show God's love and grace for the community, but we are fully against the agenda. And how can we do that respectfully without fear of being canceled or fear of blah, 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 all that stuff. So how can we completely separate it, love on the community, but not, you know what I'm saying, affirm the agenda?
It's like one of those things is so far ingrained in us that like people in the church don't know how to see one sin as the same. Like all sin is sin.
Yeah.
Everything we do that is not in line or within the will of the Most High is a sin.
Yeah.
When you group the sins that you don't struggle with, and then you say, oh, but those sins over there, that's how come it's so hard to welcome people, because the adulterer, the liar, the cheater, the everybody that comes through your doors that's doing the person who's addicted to pornography, the drug dealer,
right?
Anybody who comes in those doors are on the same level.
Right.
So if you are allowing these people to come through your doors, but these people got to come through the back, and if they don't change in 24 hours, they're out.
Right.
You will never get the results.
Yeah, never, ever, period. Yeah.
And there might be people that like will be gay for the rest of their life and hold that as that's a cross that they will bear. Like they will always be attracted to the same sex.
Yeah.
They will always be attracted to the same sex.
Yep.
Just like some of us may have the propensity to always be we'll always be tempted to do anything.
Facts. Can I add on that though? The attraction and the desires is
totally different.
It's not the sin.
Yeah.
It's acting on it.
Yeah.
I have a desire to see the big booty lady down the street.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The action that makes it a sin.
Right.
It's literally, and just because you have feelings doesn't mean that you have to act on them.
Yeah.
Like just because I feel like hurting somebody doesn't mean I have to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like cussing the dude out that cut me off you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to do it. So that
before we close, I want to say this. As far as when it comes down to all of this, right? When it comes down to not acting on our temptations, it's the same thing that they have to ask themselves. They have to ask themselves, okay, am I going to be a follower or not? That's the key. So it's not if you don't want to be a follower, that's cool. Like, just don't follow, right? So the argument for me is like, if someone's an American citizen and they're not a believer, I feel like they should have all the rights Americans should have.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yeah.
But if you call yourself a believer, then you should at least acknowledge the fact that this is not the way.
Right. Yeah.
You may struggle, you may have that as a cross that you got to bear, but don't become the church that becomes the American agenda.
Facts. Woo!
That's what that's what's happening. That's what's happening. We're becoming the American agenda now.
Woo! Goodness. That's a bar, bro.
So yeah.
Bar. Yeah. So it's not just one agenda, it's all agendas.
It's all.
But it's like, what if I came to you with an offer, but I had an agenda? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
it's gotta be a part two. It's gotta be a part two.
Part two, bro.
It's gotta be a part two, bro.
Yeah, we need a part two, bro. This is good. Good.
But yeah, man, what you got going on for the rest of the day?
Yeah, man. So I'm getting ready to go see my mom. She had a small surgery today. Yesterday, and so she's recovering. Gonna wake up the baby from her nap and get to it, man.
Yeah, man.
Some family time today.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, working hard, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me get back on your. I'll text you. We get back on the calendar to do that. But you said you know Jay Monty?
I don't know him, but we talked.
You talked?
Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
Okay. If you can, you give me a soft introduction.
Okay.
I would love to interview him if that's possible.
Okay.
So if you could, like, even like a little, like on DM or something like that,
like
a little soft intro, and I can follow up and take it from there. But like,
I definitely do that. Like, I literally have nothing to lose because we've only had one conversation. So, yeah. Just remind me, bro, and I'll make sure I do that. Dude, you should try to hit up Ruslan, man.
We'll talk offline on him.
Okay.
We'll talk offline on him. But it is what it is. I could see myself talking to him.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and he's a brother in the faith, so we just have a little bit different thinking when it comes down to certain things. But
me too.
But I sometimes watch his content now, but I kind of like have to be intentional what I watch, because I don't want to always like, okay, this is what Ruslan said, so it goes. Ruslan said it, so I have to be very intentional when I listen to him, so that I can still have my own thinking.
That's how I feel about him and Alan Parr. Like, because I like both of them, but it's like, I don't really agree with everything that they say, and it's okay. I think it's okay to have opposing, beliefs and understanding. So that could be a good episode, man. So
yeah, man. I'm out here, man. I'm just trying to get as many interviews as I can.
Bro, I love it.
I got one dropping at 3:00. So
okay, send me that, John.
All right, bet.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, thank you so much for this, bro.
All right, man. Have a good one, bro.
Hey, you too. All right.